Viewer discretion is advised.
Boom, perfect timing.
Late at night, Nakia Porter was driving with her father, Joe Powell, and 3 young children, ages 3, 4, and 6. They were on their way home to Sacramento. Mrs. Porter pulled over on a rural road to switch seats with her father because she was tired. Deputies Dalton McCampbell and Lisa McDowell arrived with lights and approached aggressively as Mrs. Porter stood outside the vehicle. Mrs. Porter calmly explained they were simply switching drivers and would be on their way, but deputies escalated immediately instead of resolving the encounter peacefully. Deputies ordered Mrs. Porter back into the vehicle and demanded ID, despite no traffic infraction being observed. When Mrs. Porter verbally questioned the basis of detention, while remaining non-threatening and compliant, Deputy McCampbell and Deputy McDowell forcibly grabbed Mrs. Porter and slammed her to the pavement. According to the lawsuit, once Mrs. Porter was outside the view of the dashcam, deputies began repeatedly punching, kicking, and kneeing Mrs. Porter, striking her in the back of the neck, head, face, and stomach as she cried out and pleaded for her life. Nakia Porter lost consciousness while handcuffed. Her father, Joe Powell, was also detained and handcuffed. Mrs. Porter's young children witnessed the entire assault from inside the vehicle. While doing my research for this case, I came across a podcast episode featuring Nakia Porter and her attorney, Yassine Ahmadani. The interview was recorded nearly 3 years before her record-breaking $17 million settlement, which makes it especially fascinating to revisit now. In the episode, they go into remarkable detail about Mrs. Porter's experience and perspective on the incident. I've included a few short clips from that conversation to help add context to the bodycam and dashcam footage you're about to see. If you'd like to watch the full podcast episode, I've linked it in the description of this video. With all of that said, let's get started.
Nakia and her father, with 3 kids in the car, 3, 4, and 6, were doing the responsible thing. Nakia had gotten tired. They were about midway back home from Oakland. And so they pulled over off the freeway to change drivers as safely as possible. They pulled onto a side road that had no traffic and was not a thoroughfare. And they proceeded to stop and change drivers. That's when these officers rolled up to them. And even when they rolled up, you can see in the tape, Nakia is trying to explain to the officers that she is simply switching seats with her father. One of the officers, actually, the first officer that approaches her, just gives her permission. It's like, okay, yeah, just go in the car. Nakia acknowledges. And then the male officer comes in very, very aggressively and starts demanding for her to get back in the car. She tries to explain, yeah, there are kids in the car. That's exactly what we're doing. We're just switching drivers. And he says again, get back in the car. She says, okay. So she's now going back to the driver's seat like they've asked her to, complete compliance, and he decides that he's going to take her into custody anyway. And he does not have a right. They do not have a right to do that. They proceeded to take her into custody, drag her out of the view of the camera, and then beat her out of consciousness. And the whole thing is on video, and her father and her kids are there watching this horrific incident.
vehicle. Our location, the silver SUV.
Get back in the car, please.
Copy,
Get back
silver
in the car, please. Okay, but get back in the car.
Get back in the car now. Get back in the car now. This is a traffic stop. Get back in the car. Get back in the car. Yes, get back in the car.
You know what? Detain her. Detain her. Put your hands on the back of your head.
We're about to switch drivers.
Read me my rights.
King 6 starts the third.
Ma'am,
Back. Put your hands behind your back.
put your hand
Put your hands behind your
I
back.
am not arrested. Arrest.
You're being detained.
King 6 starts the third.
Bless me. They are approaching me and putting me on the car with force. So those that are listening, I am not
Yes,
arrested.
you have two different plates on your vehicle.
Two different plates, but you're
Yes.
pressing on me. You're not
Yeah, but
reading
you're
my
not
rights
listening.
or anything.
You're not listening.
Excuse me.
They're saying it's a traffic stop. There's no traffic stop. These folks were already stopped. You just came there. They have no idea why they're being stopped, right? They don't even have any idea why you're there. They're starting to pepper her with questions, and she is very calmly, very clearly explaining to them what's happening and following their commands. It's very clear. And this male deputy decided that, you know what, he was gonna put hands on her and violate her civil rights, and his partner who was there decided she was gonna help him. You know, you can see it unfold in front of your eyes, and as I watch it, it makes me cringe as I know what's coming.
Let me just ask you, Nakia, what's going through your mind first when the sheriffs first approach, and then as this incident unfolds?
And at the time, my youngest, my son, was almost 2. He wasn't in the car, but my niece, who was 3, my middle daughter, 4, and my oldest daughter, 6. So to get to your question about them approaching us and asking us these questions, it's very confusing because I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary, right? I'm tired. We're getting off the road, getting safely off the road to switch drivers. And I'm now being approached with questions about, not questions, but demands to get back in the car. And I'm following all of those things. I'm complying with every request that's being made. And then they start to escalate. So you ask me, how do I feel? Very confused and scared for my life at this point in time.
What are you doing? Why are you pulling me away from the car?
You're going in the back of our patrol car.
What are you doing? Bless me.
Put your hands behind your back now. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach. Get on your stomach now. You're gonna get tased.
How did she get it open?
She slipped it. Double lock. Okay. King 6, we still have a male in the front passenger seat. The x-ray is detained, but we still need cover.
Sorry.
It's fine.
You have an extra detained and a male in the passenger seat.
King 6, stars 11,
I can't get
41, code 3. The x-ray, I believe she's unconscious. She's down. I know. He needs to get to the unlock your car, I got her. He locked the door. Do you have your PA on? I see.
10246, code 3 from Walters and Huntington.
After that, they ended up taking her father into custody, putting him in the back of a car, even though he was completely compliant. You imagine how hard it must be for a father to have to watch his daughter get unjustifiably beat up like this. How hard it must have been on him to go through that. So they arrest him, put him in the back of a car, and leave the kids there. These officers walking around with guns drawn, shotguns. Imagine the state that the kids are in at this point, and both of these folks. So they're now assaulting 3 generations of Black folks, all at one time, completely unjustified.
Step out and face the front of your car. Slowly. Step out with your hands in the air, facing the front of your car. Keeping your hands on the back of your head. Put your hands on the back of your head. Walk backwards to the sound of my voice, please. Keep coming. Stop right there. All right, so you're not under arrest, you're just being detained, okay?
What did we do?
Well, considering she just fought 2 deputies, that's why you're being detained.
Me?
Yes, you're not under arrest, okay? How many children are in the back of the car? I know. How many children are in the back? Step back with me.
3.
3 kids? How old are they?
Girls.
Okay, how old are they?
1's 6, 1's 4, 1's 3.
Okay, sounds good. Aaron, is this your car right here?
It's my car.
Okay, can I get the cage?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, is it open?
Yeah.
Okay, it's just three J's in there. All under 6, right, sir?
Yeah, all under, yeah.
Go and have a seat in the back of the car. Again, you are not under arrest. You're just being detained. Okay. So just have a seat. We have an ambulance coming to check her out.
Oh God, dude, that's Intel's finest. That's not a regular.
Oh, watch your foot.
No, I ain't never seen nothing like this.
I think it's just J's and they're all under 6.
Under 6?
Yeah. Hey kids, it's the police. Hello.
Hi.
You guys okay? Alrighty. You guys all have seatbelts and stuff? Can you guys stay in here for me, okay?
Okay.
10607, male's detained. There's a J in the car, you can with the speeder.
610, copy.
You good?
Yeah.
She clocked me in the face.
Are you alright?
I'm fine. Young lady, what's your name? Ma'am, what's your name? I have an ambulance coming to check you out. What's your name?
My name is Nakia Victoria Porter.
Okay. How old are you, ma'am?
32.
32? Okay. Where are you hurt at?
My face.
Your face? Anywhere else?
My back.
In your back?
And my stomach.
Okay.
Where you kicked me and knee.
Did you lose consciousness at any point?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any head pain? Your face in your back?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
They took me out of the view of the camera and beat me up. They punched me in my head multiple times. So much so when all of this started to come back in view, I started feeling as if I just got punched in my head that same day.
Is it Nakia?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have identification on you or in the vehicle? Is that your purse that's wrapped around you?
Yeah.
Does this unclip at all?
Does it unclip?
No. Hey gents, so we got into a scuffle with the X-ray. She's detained in the back. Okay. Her ID is right here. X-ray born in '87. She went unconscious during the fight. I think it was because she got struck in the face. She's complaining of facial pain, back pain, and stomach pain, all where she was struck. And then when we went to the ground, again, she did lose.
And 1 King 6, she's 1026.
Are you alright?
With A's on with
I got hit in the face, but I'll be okay after her.
Seconds.
She went unresponsive. I had full mount on her. She was on her face. She went out. Yeah, no more than 20 seconds. No more than. She had normal breathing the entire time. When I rolled her over, picked her up, she was able to move. She was moving her legs as if she was like going in the car. So.
She's saying she recalls the event. She kind of saw stars and was startled when her face hit the ground. That's what she's telling me. So I'm just letting you guys know that it doesn't sound like there was a loss of consciousness. I'm going to ask her if she wants to go to the hospital. Are you guys okay with her being transported by us if she does?
She wants to be seen. She does. Okay. Yeah. You guys have any saline or anything I wash my hand off with?
Absolutely.
Hey,
okay. Or some.
I read their statement of what happened, and they claim, and granted, I don't see any of this on the video, and I've watched the video several times, including frame by frame. They claim that she ignored orders to get back in the video. She resisted the deputies, slipped her hand out of the cuffs, and then struck a deputy in the face. Now, it's hard to see what's going on when everybody's on the ground, but I don't see any of that.
Well, yeah, you don't see it because it didn't happen. We are going to watch play by play. I'm going to sit these deputies down in a deposition. And I'm going to go through it play by play, frame by frame, and I am going to have them admit their lies because they're lying. This deputy lied so many times on camera, McCampbell, and so did the other one, McDowell. They lied so many times, and they made up such a web of lies. It's all recorded. It's all there. So I am going to go through it step by step with them and show it. What are they doing? They basically, because they had knocked her, he got that deputy, those two deputies, they got so angry at how dare this black woman speak in their presence at all, regardless of what she's saying. Regardless of the fact that she's de-escalating, how dare she speak in their presence? They felt like beating her up. And that's what they did. And after they knock her out and they don't realize, what kind of damage they've done, they start freaking out and they start making up their stories. And they know their buddies are going to cover for them. And that's exactly what was happening. That is the other very insulting part of this story is after they violate her civil rights, they continue to do it by fabricating stories against her just to get her prosecuted. It wasn't enough to knock her unconscious in front of her family. That wasn't enough. They then took it to the next level, put her in jail. Why? Because, we gave them the power to do that. We trusted them and they abused it, right? They abused their power at every step of the way here.
It did.
It didn't stick because the video doesn't support it, right? That their story is totally false.
Can we get some? I just need to wipe my hand off.
Sure. Look, let me moment.
Good? Yeah, I'm good for now. I just gotta wash my hand off. She came out, instantly popped out of the car as soon as McDowell turned her lights on. There's a front out-of-state plate and then the rear plate. They flipped around. And then she initiated the traffic stop. As soon as I put it out, she hopped out of the car, was non-compliant, refused to get back in the car, and then turned towards us. And then as soon as we told her to put her hands on the back of her head, she tried to go walk away, and then actually started fighting McDowell. And then that's when we went hands on. She slipped a cuff and punched me in the face.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I gotta get my hand washed.
I'll take it.
You don't have to talk to me if you don't want to. The whole thing is, here's the thing. You're in custody. You're going to go to the hospital either way, whether or not you go with us or you go with them, okay? So it sounds like that will be the next stop either way, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. We're going to try and get some vital signs right now. And it sounds like because you did not lose consciousness, there's probably not anything significant going on inside your head, okay? All right? We're going to check to see if your vital signs are okay, all right? And if it's okay with you, would you rather sign an RMA, which is a form that releases us of any liability, and it means that obviously if something goes wrong between here and there, they're going to call us back anyways, okay? But that just means that we don't have to move you from this vehicle to that vehicle. And either way, you're going to get seen at the hospital. Do you understand?
No, what does RNA stand for?
Refusal of medical assistance by us. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get seen at the hospital, because that's the next place that you would go either way.
But it's saying I would transfer out of this to that vehicle.
To the ambulance, then we take you to the hospital, and then they continue to keep custody of you at the hospital. Does that make sense? Would you rather go with us or stay here?
I would rather go with you.
Okay. What's your first name?
My name is Nakia, and the officer whose name I don't have has my ID.
Okay, gotcha. Nakia, how old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay.
BP came back 153 over 80. Okay, I'm going to take this off you, okay?
And my blood pressure is normally fine.
Yeah.
I need to call my husband.
Okay. We will.
For our children.
Yes, I understand that, and we're not. We are not going to leave them, and the police certainly aren't going to leave them. Okay. We'll get that straightened out before you go anywhere. All right. Hey, do me a favor, Nakia. I know it's easier said than done, but right now, I can tell your blood pressure, it's up, your heart rate's up because you're really worked up right now, okay? And I can understand why you're worked up, but the best thing you can do is just try and relax as best as possible, okay? At this point, we are going to try and help you with everything we can, whether that's your kids, whether it's getting you seen at the hospital.
Nakia Porter was transported to jail and held overnight on suspicion of resisting arrest, but prosecutors declined to file charges because there was no evidence of any crime.
I was afraid I was going to lose my job. I was going to lose my job because I went to jail. I went to jail for what? How do I explain to people? We didn't have no video that you were able to see, David. Thank you for sharing your opinion of what you can see, because that's what I've been living with. And then for me to see it brought back so much more that, oh my gosh, they knocked me out. When they first started hitting me, I was like, they're going to kill me. My hands are tied behind my back. I can't do anything. So how do I still end up being the criminal? That's what we have to look at. How do I still end up being the criminal? I'm not.
The DA didn't file charges because they were lying, and it's so clear they were lying. In many circumstances, I'm glad the DA did the right thing here, but that doesn't always happen. A lot of times you'll see DAs turn around and file charges where they shouldn't be filed just to protect the officers. And so that is another abuse that needs to be addressed. That, thank goodness it didn't happen here, but that happens. So from a legal perspective, just about every civil rights violation that they could have committed, they did.
Internal reports filed by deputies contained false statements, including claims that Mrs. Porter had been combative and violently resisting. Bodycam and dashcam footage, later made public through the lawsuit, directly contradicts the deputies' reports and shows Mrs. Porter remaining composed and non-aggressive. The footage was pivotal. Without it, charges may have proceeded and the official narrative likely would have remained unchallenged.
A woman who says she was knocked unconscious by Solano County Sheriff's deputies has filed a federal lawsuit. The Sheriff's Department says she resisted deputies and slipped out of her handcuffs.
For you to be beaten down as you were less than a human being.
You know what? Detain Porter.
It so happened a sheriff's vehicle was parked nearby, and the two deputies approached Porter. After she motioned and communicated what she was doing, you see the deputies with at least one gun drawn handcuff her anyways and tell her the reason for detaining her.
You have two different plates on your vehicle.
She is then pulled away from her car, questions the deputies as to why, and then a struggle ensues. With the camera shaking, it's hard to see what's going on, but Porter's attorney makes it clear what he says happened.
Kicking her, kneeing her, striking her in the back of the neck, the head, the face.
Her attorney says Porter became unconscious for over 5 minutes and dragged to the patrol car by the deputy. The lawsuit claims deputies lied about Porter fighting and about the time she was unconscious to paramedics on scene.
She went out. Yeah,
no more than 20 seconds. She hopped out of the car, was non-compliant, refused to get back in the car.
On top of everything else, they're lying about it. You know, and this cover-up is so clear to see.
The officers also detained Porter's father.
They treated us less than human because they felt they could. They did not deserve this. We did nothing wrong.
Porter was jailed for 6 hours on suspicion of resisting arrest, but never charged. A call for comment to the Solano County Sheriff's Office was not returned.
Being treated as a criminal and being beaten and arrested in front of your children. They use their power and their control to force their way into my life and terrify me and the entire family.
A badge does not give them the license to do this. These officers came in with guns drawn without cause and took her into custody and beat her up without cause in front of her family.
In federal court, Nakia Porter alleged unlawful seizure and false arrest, excessive force and physical assault, unlawful search and detention of children, fabrication of police reports, equal protection and racial bias violations, and a Monell claim against Solano County, arguing that the department's policies, culture, and training failures enabled the assault. The court found sufficient evidence for several of these claims to move forward to jury trial, placing substantial liability on the county. In 2025, Solano County agreed to pay $17 million to resolve the lawsuit. The county did not admit wrongdoing, but the size of the settlement is a direct acknowledgement of the severity of the misconduct. The settlement is among the largest police use of force payouts in California. Despite national outrage and clear evidence of brutality, no deputy was fired. One of the deputies involved, Lisa McDowell, was later promoted. In fact, less than 2 years after the incident, Deputy McDowell became Sergeant McDowell. The Solano County Sheriff's Office has not acknowledged mistakes and has refused to publicly explain policy changes, if any were made. The case of Nakia Porter stands as a clear example of how quickly a routine, non-criminal interaction can escalate into violence when law enforcement fails to recognize humanity, exercise restraint, and uphold constitutional standards. Despite remaining calm, compliant, and unarmed, Nakia was beaten unconscious, falsely jailed, and then forced to fight for years to prove what the body camera footage ultimately made undeniable. She committed no crime, and the harm done to her was both unlawful and unjustified. The $17 million settlement reflects the severity of that injustice, but it does not repair the trauma endured by Mrs. Porter, her father, and her young children who watched helplessly as the situation unfolded. Nor does it undo the deeper systemic failures that enable the deputies involved to act with such impunity. What this case demonstrates is not simply the misconduct of Deputy Dalton McCampbell and Sergeant Lisa McDowell, but a broader pattern in which excessive force is normalized, truth is rewritten in reports, and accountability is avoided unless video evidence forces the public to confront what would otherwise be denied. Until departments adopt real oversight, enforce transparent disciplinary standards, and treat the public with the dignity that the law requires, cases like this will continue. The question now is not whether an injustice occurred. The evidence is clear. The question is, what will be done to ensure it does not happen again?
I'm a civil rights attorney right now. I'm a former federal prosecutor, and I can tell you that, just seeing this sort of behavior is extremely offensive that folks would abuse the power like that. And so what I would say is that, I want to reach out for any law enforcement officers that are watching, former, current. You take a look at it from not a perspective of this is my team, that's your team. Seems to be what the dialogue has become now. Take a look at it from the perspective of fairness, justice, the oath that folks in law enforcement take, the oath they take to uphold the law. And then no matter who it is, even if it's one of your own guys, even if it's a law enforcement officer, hold them accountable to that. Because that's how we're going to get that just society. That's how we're going to build that trust back. If everybody plays by the rules the way that they're supposed to. So that would be my plea to them, is that don't be on team officer or, team civil rights. Be on team justice. You see something wrong, say it's wrong and do something about it. All I wanted to add in that is that, this whole issue gets very politicized and conflated. I think people recognize that you need enforcement of laws, but at the same time, it can't be riddled with abuse of power. These folks have been given a certain authority, but that authority is limited by the Constitution. That authority is limited by human rights. The authority is limited by basic rights. And I think that we have stopped almost recognizing that, there is a problem. There needs to be a recognition that there is a problem, and we need to do something about that problem, because people are getting hurt, people are dying, and it's going to continue until the law catches up with what's going on practically. That's part of the impetus of bringing a lawsuit like this, is to address it. And thank goodness we live in a system where we can bring a lawsuit to address it. And we are, and I hope that there are changes, that Congress makes more changes to the law so that these type of lawsuits have even more power to them. Because when we hold these officers, the ones that commit the violation, many good officers, right? But there are ones that commit these violations. We hold these officers accountable. We change the practice. Yeah. We let them off the hook despite the violation because, we're on team officers or we're on team civil rights. That's not how it works. Yeah. We should all be on team civil rights. They should be on team civil rights because they're hired to uphold the law. Not break it. And so everybody should be on board with this.